Hi, my name is Sharon and I'm part of the Madison County Local Food Network in Madison County, Indiana. With more interest in vegetable gardening recently, we thought it might be handy to create a video series about gardening basics. We're starting with seeds and would like to share some information with those of you who don't normally grow plants from seed and who would like to know a little bit more about it. Let's start at the beginning with where to get seeds. You can buy seeds in a lot of places. Online seed companies, catalogs that come in the mail, big box stores, hardware stores, grocery stores, even some dollar stores. To get free seeds, local seed swaps, Facebook groups, or local gardening groups are some of your option. Or you can save seeds from plants you've grown or from produce you've eaten. We'll get into more detail about that in a few minutes. Most people buy packaged seeds, so let's take a look at a package from a fairly common brand of seed. If we start on the front, you can see the seeds in the packet are Black Beauty summer squash. You'll also see a picture of what these zucchini will look like when they're ready to harvest. Up in the corner, you'll see that these are vegetable seeds and the price is $2.79. Below the price is the amount of seed in the packet. On the back, the map towards the bottom tells you when to grow these seeds outdoors. Indiana is in the green section, which means they can be sown or planted here May through July. Now let's take a look at the panel on the right. On the top, it says that this plant needs full sun, which means over 6 hours a day. Then it tells you when this vegetable can be harvested. This zucchini will be ready to harvest or pick about 50 days after planting. In Madison County, the average last frost date is April 28th, and our average first frost in the fall is October 11th. Those are averages, but there's still a 30% chance of frost on October 28th and on October 11th. In the spring, after October 28th, the chances of frost lessen. That's why a lot of people here don't plant until May. If you're in Madison County and you plant these seeds in the ground on May 1st, you should be able to harvest these zucchini starting in late June, because 50 days after May 1st is June 20th. Keep a close eye on how many days until harvest. Some vegetables like radishes and lettuce are fine with cooler spring temperatures and don't take very long to grow until harvest. Other plants like tomatoes can take over 150 days and prefer nighttime temperatures over 60. Our growing season in Madison County averages 166 days, but our nights can cool off long before first frost. So most people start tomatoes indoors before the last frost or buy plants. Keep our first and last frost dates in mind and do the math to make sure you have enough time for your produce to mature. Next on our package markings, we have planting depth. These seeds need to be planted 1 inch under the surface. Pay attention to each plant's needs. Smaller seeds aren't planted as deeply as larger seeds. Some seeds need to be planted on top of the ground because they need sunlight to sprout. If you plant your seeds at the wrong depth, your harvest will suffer. Below depth, we have space. This tells us that these plants need to be 36 inches apart to have enough room to grow. Finally, it tells us that this plant is container friendly. You can plant one of these plants in a 12-inch container with success. Handy for people who don't have room or aren't able to plant in the ground. Now let's look at the next red rectangle. It describes the squash for us. Glossy, deep green fruits are nutty and delicious. Try roasted or in stir fries, great for small spaces. Next, growing instructions. Sow in rich, fertile soil after danger of frost. Sow 1 to 2 seeds about 36 inches apart and cover with 1 inch of fine soil. Firm lightly and keep evenly moist. Seedlings emerge in 10 to 14 days. Harvest often and when fruits are small. This is good information to pay attention to as well. Not all plants need fertile soil and some prefer more or less water. So what if I get seeds from somewhere that doesn't have markings on the package? I bought some of my seeds from the bulk bins at True Value Hardware in North Anderson. They're sold by the tablespoon, so I put my seeds into non-specific envelopes that they provide. This is what the bulk bin looks like. They have growing information on the front of each seed bin. Here's the front of their seed packet. As you can see, I wrote what type of seed on the package myself. If you look at the back of the packet, it has basic planting information for the different types of vegetable seeds. I also wrote the year on the back of the package so I can remember when I bought them. These were grown for 2021, although they should be okay for a while as long as I store them in a cool, dark place. So what about older seeds? Will they go bad after this year? As long as they're stored properly, most seeds will still be viable and sprout for a few years. The longer you have them, the less likely to sprout they'll be, but testing them is easy. To test most types of seeds, you need a few paper towels, a plastic baggie or plastic wrap, and a marker to mark what type of seeds they are and the date you started them. Fold over your paper towel or coffee filter and get it damp, not dripping or the seeds will rot, but damp. Put 10 seeds on the paper and fold or roll the paper over to cover all the seeds. Wrap the whole thing loosely in plastic or put it in a baggie and note what kind of seed and what date you started it on the outside with your marker. Make sure your seeds stay damp and keep them somewhere at least 70 degrees. The top of the fridge is good. I use the top of a radiator, but make sure it doesn't get hot enough to cook the seeds. After a few days, check the seeds to see if they've started sprouting. These are radishes, which sprout very quickly. Not all seeds sprout this quickly, so check the germination date on your seed packet or look it up online. As you can see, I only used 5 seeds and they all sprouted. If you test 10 seeds, you want at least 8 or 9 to sprout. If they don't, you'll need to plant more seeds in each hole to make sure you have enough plants. We'll cover thinning seedlings in another video. I can still plant these seeds in a pot or the ground to grow. I have to be careful not to damage the stem or the root, but I can rip the paper towel and plant the radish with it attached. Now let's talk about saving seeds. First, we need to understand the difference between heirloom, hybrid, and open pollinated seeds. A hybrid is created when 2 different varieties of a plant are purposefully cross-pollinated to create a single new variety that has the best qualities of the parent plants. Every hybrid seed is a first-generation seed from these 2 parent plants, so you'll have uniformity. You might see hybrid seeds referred to as F1 seeds, which means filial one or first children. Seeds from future generations, F2 and after, won't produce true to parent. Saving seeds from a fruit from a hybrid plant will have unpredictable results. You might get something similar to what came in the first generation plant, but there's also a chance the fruit will be nothing like the first generation, or the seed might even be sterile. Most of the food we get from the supermarket is grown from hybrid plants. Farmers like to grow them because they know exactly what to expect from them, but they have to buy new hybrid seeds every year. Unlike hybrid seeds, open pollination happens accidentally. Open pollinated plants are pollinated by the wind, insects, animals, or other natural means. The plants from these seeds may have slight differences from the vegetable you got it from. It may be a slightly different color, or the fruit may mature a little earlier. It may not be quite as hardy or disease resistant as a plant grown from hybrid seeds, but for the most part, it'll be a lot like the parent plant. Heirloom plants are open pollinated plants that have been grown for 50 years or more. Heirlooms are the most reliable when it comes to saving seeds. They're frequently more flavorful, and they tend to adapt to local soils and climates better than hybrids. But they may not grow as fast or produce as much as hybrids, so you might want to grow an extra plant or 2. Now that we understand those terms, let's talk about saving seeds. Saving seeds from food can be an easy and inexpensive way to get garden seeds for next year. Make sure they're fully dry and then save them in a cool place in an airtight environment like an envelope or a baggie that you've labeled with the type of seed and the date. What kind of seeds can you save? You'll have most luck from self-pollinating plants or plants that pollinate themselves. Open pollinated plants will be more reliable than hybrids. Tomatoes, peppers, beans, and peas are good choices for seed saving. They're often self-pollinating, so they'll be consistent. Brandywine, San Marzano, Mortgage Lifter, and Big Rainbow are examples of open pollinated tomatoes. I've also had good luck growing tomato seeds from heirloom tomatoes that I've gotten from the store or farmers markets. To save tomato seeds, cut the tomato, remove the goo with the seeds, then put the seeds on a paper towel to dry. Some swear by fermenting the goo for more success, but my results have been good enough. To save pepper seeds, the pepper has to be ripe, which means green pepper seeds won't work. The green peppers we get from the store are actually red, orange, or yellow, or other colored peppers that have been picked before they're fully ripe. Let the seeds dry completely before you store them. You'll know pepper seeds are fully dry when they break instead of bend. Peppers are open pollinated, but they can cross-pollinate with other peppers in your garden. I've been asked if growing sweet bell peppers next to hot peppers will make the bell peppers spicy. Growing these plants together will not make the peppers grown on those plants spicy, but if you save seeds, the plants you grow from the peppers grown close together can create spicy bell peppers or mild hot peppers. If you want to grow peppers from the seeds in your garden, you'll need to plant your hot and sweet pepper plants on opposite sides of your garden for the best chance of keeping your next generation of hot peppers hot and bell peppers sweet. A lot of beans are self-pollinating and their seeds are large and easy to handle. If you want to save seeds from beans you've grown, leave a few on the plant to dry. They usually don't cross-pollinate, but if you know you'll be saving seeds, leave about 10 feet between different types just in case. When the beans are dry, store and label them as usual. Cucumbers, melons, squash, pumpkins, and gourd are all in the same family and they can cross-pollinate in your garden. The cross-pollination won't affect the plants you're currently growing, but the crop from their seeds can produce something weird. It's up to you if you want to waste space and effort on those seeds. Their vines can take up a lot of space for something that may or may not be something worth growing. That said, I have had luck growing pumpkin seeds from pie pumpkins I've bought. They're usually grown in large fields with the same type of pumpkin, so there's less risk of cross-pollination. So, we've discussed where to get seeds, the information on seed packets, types of pollination, and how to save seeds from food. I would suggest that you start to buy your seeds early. With more people gardening, seeds sold quickly last year, and if you wait until May, the seeds may be gone or you might not have enough time to start plants that take a little longer, like tomatoes. I hope you found this video helpful and you now know a little more about choosing seeds for your garden. There are more helpful links in the description. If you have questions about anything in this video, please feel free to reach out to us using the links provided below. See you next time.